What is up, people? Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Justin here, and I'm back. I look rough. It's been a while, very long while, like always. But I'm going to have some time on my hands now, and let's talk about music. So, I hope that this is not too loud. This being Antediluvian, Logos. Antediluvian's a Canadian death metal band. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them. I don't know if they're still active. This was their second full length. This came after Through the Cervix of Hawa, which I think I prefer more. I'm not super familiar with these albums. I have all of their stuff, but I have not listened to them in a very long while. It's just kind of chaotic, nasty death metal. So, okay, we're doing a new stuff video. I've gotten a lot of new stuff in the last 2 months, since I did a video last. I've tried to keep up with it all, but I'm sure I've missed something along the way, but this is, sit back, relax. This is going to be a long video probably. So, records I'll do first because I have less records. We'll jump right into it. The first thing I just got, and it is the new incantation, Sect of Vile Divinities. I'm sure a lot of you know that I really am fond of incantation, as are many of you, I'm sure. This is their 13th album or something. And if you like incantation, you'll like this. It sounds like incantation. I pre-ordered this the second it went up. I got this variant, whatever it is. I don't give a shit about collectability and, you know, this is limited to however many copies. I just picked the one that looked the coolest to me, and I like this one. So it doesn't say which color. Oh, here we go. Green and mint green merge. So anyway, Sect of Vile Divinities. It's incantation. It's sick. It's their twisted, eerie riffing. It's not as murky as older recordings. My favorite, like, newer incantation is the Dirge of Elysium record. And the last one I like a lot, but I haven't listened to a bunch. I've listened to this a lot. Not the record yet, but I got the promo in my email like 2 months ago. So it's been on my phone, and I've been listening to it, you know, a lot. And it's really good. It's a little long. It's like 12 or 13 songs, and it doesn't drag, but it's a little long. I could have gone with less songs, but it's great. It's everything that you want for incantation, and it's just a dirty, nasty, just gross death metal record. So, I mean, I can't say anything else about it. I love incantation. If you like them, you should like that. Speaking of incantation, we have Blood Incantation. I don't remember if I ever talked about this when it came out. Of course, this is their second full-length, Hidden History of the Human Race. I never did a 2019 best of list. Shit was busy at the end of the year last year, and I just wasn't feeling it. But if I would have, this would have been my #1 record. Given that, it's funny because I never really clicked with their first record. I ordered this directly from the band. They all said thank you. But in between Starspawn coming out and now, I befriended the guys in Blood Incantation. I've seen them several times. One of my bands has played with Spectral Voice. Of course, it's the same guys. We all hit it off, and I saw them late last year before this came out, and they played 3 of the 4 songs on it, and it just blew me away. They are such a fantastic live band. It's got a bunch of stickers and stuff in it. I'm not going to fool with those. They sent me a bunch of swag. So, I love this record. It's technical, it's heavy, it's progressive, it's brutal, it's old school. It's everything that you would want out of a death metal record. It's just done so well. It's produced really well. It sounds really good without being modern or overproduced. It's just fantastic. And so anyways, I bought this from the band, like I said. This is like blue, kind of colored-y purple vinyl. There's no telling how many versions of this there are. The jacket is this really nice matte jacket. Full gatefold stuff there. Dudes on the back. Man, let me tell you, the Blood Incantation guys are the nicest fucking guys. They're just so cool. They're down to earth. Love talking to them. Love playing with them. Next year, two of my bands, Father Befouled and Inconfination, will be playing Killtown. Blood Incantation will be playing, so it'll be nice to hang out with them. If the world ever gets back to normal, I may see them before then, so we'll see. What we got here? Full poster of the artwork with no logo, which is pretty cool. And then there's an insert. It's actually an inner sleeve with all the lyrics and the band stuff. So, really nice package from the Blood Incantation guys. Really good release from Dark Descent. Anyway, this is excellent. Excellent. Love this album. Okay, next, this is cool. Mortician Demo 1990 10-inch. This came out on Extreme Music. They're doing this new thing called Extreme Cult Series, 10 Inches of Death Cult. I want to say, this is number 2. I don't know what number 1 was. And they just announced the next one, and I can't remember what it is. I want to say maybe it's Incantation. I bought this directly from the band, from Will Romer. This cool black clear splatter. It's funny, I have this material I have the demo cassette, I have the CD compilation Necroharmonic put out with all this stuff, and then now I have this 10-inch. So cool layout of flyers and the original demo scan. This is really cool. It's just, I've talked about Mortician. I will get into more Mortician in the M's in my CD collection very soon. I'm going to make a promise to you guys that video, the next CD collection video, will be up shortly after this one, because I have the time to do it right now. So, I love Mortician. They're one of my favorite bands. I got into them when I was like 16 years old, a long time ago. I turned 39 this month, so that was 16 to 39 is over half my life. But I fucking love Mortician. They're just gross and heavy and fucking disgusting sounding, and that first demo is no exception. I mean, it's just fucking abysmal. So anyway, speaking of abysmal, speaking of all of the adjectives, Exaugurate with Chasm of Chasm of Rapturous Delirium. I should know this, I fucking did the layout. So Exaugurate is a brand new death metal band from Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere in there. Guys are split over a couple of states. And they play fucking expert, nasty fucking death metal. Black vinyl, I will show you that. Insert. I did all of this layout work, so of course I think it's awesome. Nasty Xerox looking stuff. So Exaugurate is members of Ectovoid, Ritual Decay, Hallowed Idols, Cemetery Filth. It is an all-star lineup of dudes that just, man, they holed up in a basement and crafted these songs. And I've been in touch with them since the beginning. They're all friends of mine. And Chris, the singer-guitar player, told me, he said, we're not even going to mention that this band exists until we have this done. And that's what they did. No previews, no rehearsal tracks, no band camp, no nothing. no even mention of this band existing until this was at press. And they said, we just want to drop this and it be there. And man, let me tell you, they rehearsed and refined these songs. It falls really well into like between Dead Congregation and Immolation. It's just, it's so spot on, and all the riffs make sense, and they flow so well into each other. It's understandable. It's not too technical. It's not too obtuse. It's just, man, it's just fucking killer underground abysmal death metal. And I cannot wait to hear more of this. But I know they have a split coming out soon that hopefully we'll hear about whenever it's closer to being done. Rotted Life put this out. Rotted Life is a new death metal label that is really gaining steam. My buddy Jason runs that label. He's the guy behind Malignant Records, which is more of like a power electronics industrial label that's been around for 25 years. And I think that in Jason's hands, Rotted Life could be another Dark Descent. But I cannot stress to you how fucking incredible these 4 songs are. So, okay, I got one more record. Okay, I actually got this today. This is Avski with Oft Jeg Drommen Mig Dod. I don't know what that means. Something dead. So, this is a black metal record. It is on smoky, hazy vinyl. I'm real... picky's not the right word, but somewhere between picky and particular when it comes to black metal. Especially now. So many things get tagged with being black metal that just aren't. And I was so embedded in the ethos and the ideology of what black metal was 15, 20 years ago. It's a real important genre to me. And I think it takes a lot to wear that tag. This doesn't look like a black metal record, but it certainly sounds like one. And when I first heard this, it may have been my mood, it may have been, I don't know. I heard it, and it clicked with me, and I immediately ordered it. But I ordered it like 3 months ago, and ordered it directly from the label, Vendetta Records. And the guy messaged me back almost immediately, and he said, hey, I'm kind of stuck. It's hard to mail things out of the country right now because of COVID. And this is really when, and I may have ordered this like 4 months ago. I ordered this in March, probably. March, April, May, June, July, August. 4 or 5 months ago? Fuck, it showed up today. But he emailed me and he said, listen, I can't mail anything out of the country. Do you want your money back or do you want to wait? And I said, I'll wait, I don't care. Because if I waited, if I got my money back, I would have never bought it. I would have never bought it again. It wouldn't have happened. But it showed up today. I had forgotten all about it. I'm glad it's here. Really nice package. Kind of a matte jacket. Spot gloss on the logo. Spot gloss on the title. There's no insert, but oh, this is cool. The inside is not printed. It's brown. It's not white, so it's printed on brown stock, which is really nice. A nice little touch. Someone, you know, I appreciate it when people put details into their presentations. It comes with a book. It is all in, I want to say that these guys are Danish. So, I have no idea what any of this says. I guess it's the lyrics. But there's like this guy, Sophus Closen. So Hans Christian Andersen. I guess it's kind of romantic black metal, which usually lends it to not being black metal, but that's just me being a fucking douchebag. So, anyway, Avski. This is a good record. I like it. Probably find out that these dudes are like scarf hipsters, work in coffee shops. But, you know, that's what happens. Okay, that's all the records. Got some CDs. Okay. Let's see. First, my buddy Andrew. We've traded a couple things back and forth. And he sent me a random box the other day that had 3 CDs in it. One of which, Anthropolatry, with something in Russian. I don't fucking know. Or Ukrainian. I don't know. But this is on Chanteloup Creations. So I was in a black metal band years and years and years and years ago. And we put out some tapes on a record label called Wolf Rune Works. Wolf Rune Works was the same guy behind Chanteloup Creations. I cannot remember his name. He was out of France. I looked this up. Metal Archive says that it is pagan black metal. Maybe it sounds as cool as it looks. I really like Russian black metal, Ukrainian black metal, Blazebirth Hall type stuff. I doubt it sounds like that, but maybe it sounds cool. Maybe it sounds like Timnazor. I don't know. I will maybe listen to this before I edit this video, and it'll pop up on the screen what it sounds like. So then he sent me Thorazine with Geneticide. I recognize this cover, but that's all I remember about this. And oh, it came out on Deathgasm. That's my buddy Evan's label. No tray card, just a booklet. So I'm assuming this is death metal of some fashion. Out of Canada, it looks like. But we'll check it out. Thorazine. That's why it looks familiar, because it's Deathgasm. I've seen it in these ads and stuff. And then this is really cool. So, Hatred, The Offering. I don't know, man. 21, 22 years ago, when I first started going to shows like out of town on my own, when I was about 18, 19 years old, I would go to Tallahassee a lot, Tallahassee, Florida, which is a little more than an hour from where I lived in South Georgia. There was a club there called the Cow House, and they had death metal shows all the time. All the death metal tours came through Tallahassee back then. And I went to a show one night. I don't remember who else played, but this band was there, Hatred. They were on the tour, because they are from somewhere in the Midwest, I think. Oh, Virginia. Alexandria, Virginia. And I'll never forget this band. They were kind of like death thrash type stuff that I wasn't crazy about it. It wasn't, you know, but I remember their guitar player, this guy, Tim Claiborne, was super energetic. This big, tall, lanky guy, and he was whipping his hair all around. And he was playing a George Lynch ESP. And he had this big pedal board. He was stomping all these pedals, playing fucking crazy solos. But his performance stood out a lot. And I had not thought about, I've never listened to him. I've never gone back and checked him out. But it's funny that this turned up in my mail the other day. It just took me back to a time of going to the Cow House. I can smell the fog now. So that's cool. I'm going to listen to that soon. Okay. Then I ordered a bunch of bootlegs, because these are all CDs that are not easy to come by, and they were cheap on the place where you get bootleg CDs. So, you know, so what? First, I'm going to run through these real quick. Demigod, Slumber of Sullen Eyes. Amazing classic Finnish death metal. I mean, unparalleled. Cornerstone. I have the record, but an OG copy of this CD goes for big bucks that I'm not spending for it. So I picked up this Russian bootleg. And it fucking rules. Monstrosity, Imperial Doom. Monstrosity, In Dark Purity, which I've talked about a lot, is one of my favorite death metal albums of all time. And when I got into Monstrosity, I got into them around In Dark Purity, because of In Dark Purity. And knowing that George Fisher had left them and gone to Cannibal Corpse, I liked him in Cannibal Corpse, and I would never go back and listen to Monstrosity with George Fisher. I just wanted to hear Jason Avery Monstrosity. Finally, I pulled my head out of my ass, and I've loved Imperial Doom for years. I've just never come across a copy, so I picked one up. It rules. I mean, just classic Florida death metal. It's real riffy. It's just a killer fucking record. Baphomet, The Dead Shall Inherit. This is another one of those old school death metal CDs that I probably could have bought for pennies fucking 15 or 20 years ago. I always knew this, never knew anything about it. I always thought it looked kind of silly, and I just chalked it up to being just a generic old death metal record. And really that's what it is, but it's great. I mean, it's great for what it is. It's a chunky, nasty, dirty, old school death metal record. And it's a snapshot of a moment in time in a genre of music that's so important to me, if that makes sense. So it's great. Really great album. Then, Torturer with Oppressed by the Force. This was a totally random purchase. It looked cool. I got all these from one seller, and I just threw this in. And they're from South America, Chile, and it's really thrashy death metal, heavy on the death metal, because I'm not a much of a thrash guy, but it rules. I'd never heard of them, never knew anything about them. Threw it in, and it's great. Real riffy, real technical, but it's good. I also bought Oppressor, Solstice of Oppression, and I noticed that the art on both is super similar. Like, super similar. And then this is Oppressor, Solstice of Oppression, and this is Torturer, Oppressed by the Force. So I was like, what's going on here? This came out first. But it's the same artist, which I didn't realize, because it's not listed in one of these. I want to say Oppressor doesn't list who the artist is. No, I'm wrong. Torturer doesn't list who the artist is. So a friend of mine was like, "Oh, it's the same artist. That's how they look alike." So anyway, Oppressor, another death metal band just like Baphomet that I ignored forever because I just thought generic Midwestern death metal. And that's what it is. 3/4 of this band went on to form like a rock band called Soil. They're kind of new metal-y rock, kind of, I don't know, like Trapped. But this record fucking rules. It's just technical, chunky, brutal, mid-90s death metal. The highlight of this, though, are the vocals. The vocalist is the one member that didn't go on to Soil. But super throaty, dry, guttural vocals, man. They sound so fucking good. But this record's great, and out of this stack, I've listened to this a lot. So, then more Finnish death metal, Funebra with Children of the Scorn. I keep dropping these. This was another one that I've seen for years and always kind of glossed over. I bought it randomly. I said I want that. Cheap bootleg. There's nothing inside. It's just scans of the LP. But it's good, like, young Finnish dudes. Look at those dudes, man. They're all fucking 12 years old. Just nasty, chunky death metal. But it's good. It's good. It's not what I'm going to reach for first when I want to hear this kind of stuff, but it's good. Then I bought 2 Autopsy CDs, and these aren't bootlegs. These are legit. Actually the Unspeakable and Severed Survival with Retribution of the Dead EP. Both Peaceful releases. I've always been kind of a lukewarm fence sitter with Autopsy. I like Autopsy, but not enough to be like, yeah, I fucking love Autopsy. I have Mental Funeral, which I talked about probably in my first or second CD collection video 2 years ago. I want to say that I like both of these more than Mental Funeral, and I may even like Actually Unspeakable most. I don't know, though. I like Autopsy, and I appreciate what Autopsy has done for death metal. But they're definitely a band for me that nobody else does what Autopsy does, even though so many bands sound like Autopsy. But they're one of those just special, kind of unique, perfect bands but and I need to have them in my CD stack. So then we have a Morta Skald with this is an OG copy, I believe. Dying Remains, their first album. Another one of those bands that I actually listened to a bunch of Morta Skald like 10, 12 years ago. I had to review some reissues for this zine I wrote for, and I listened to a bunch of Morta Skald, listened to all those reissues while doing that. And I was always like, man, I like this stuff. I got to get more of them, and just never did. And I know my buddy Andre fucking loves them. And I got to see them. They played here in Atlanta last year, the Mass Destruction Fest, and they were great. Just old school 90s American death metal. Real chunky, not super technical. But glad to finally pick up a copy of this. And they have vinyl copies that night, like reissues of this, but I wanted to grab this CD, and it's great. It's great. Then the last of this acquisition. So the funny thing about these CDs, well, most of them, because some of them, they didn't all come from the same place. I bought them on eBay from one seller. I bought like 10 CDs, and 3 of them showed up within about a month. And then the other 7 never showed up. And the tracking on eBay told me that they were delivered, and that I should have had them for like 2 months. And so eventually I messaged the guy, and I was like, these never showed up. So the tracking says that I got them. I never got them. He's like, let me look into it. He was real cool about it. And the very next day, they were in the mail. They showed up. So it was weird. Anyways, last one, and this is also legit. Dark Throne, Panzerfaust, Moonfog pressing. This is probably my favorite Dark Throne record. And I've never had a legit copy of it. I've always just had like CDRs. I really want a vinyl copy. It was funny. I was in Steelworker Records a couple years ago in Tampa, and he had like every Dark Throne record except for this one. I was like, God damn it. But it's just grim. You know Dark Throne, man. This shit, these early records are untouchable. They are a cornerstone of what black metal is to me. So cannot go wrong with that. Okay, then I've got a few more recent acquisitions here. Incantation CD, I got it with the record. And then I did a trade with my buddy Jeff. Jeff is in the band Birth AD, and he used to be in the band Averse Saphira. We hung out last year. He's also in Imprecation now. And we hung out at a fest last year and really got along, and then we did a trade, and I got 2 of his band's CDs, Averse Saphira, Tetragrammatical Estigmata, and then Birth AD, I Blame You. Birth AD is like a snotty skate thrash band that he does, and then of course this was really like esoterical black metal. I saw these guys years before I knew Jeff on tour, and I always liked them. And then he sent me this as well, which I haven't even opened either one of them yet. But shout out to Jeff for sending me those. Then the new High Spirits. Hard to stop. I've talked about High Spirits at length. I fucking love High Spirits. This is their brand new album. It's their 4th or 5th record. I do not remember. But High Spirits is like high energy, heavy metal, rock music. It's so good, man. Melodic and catchy and sing-along, and it's just, nothing touches this fucking band, and they've done nothing but put out great records, and I fucking love this album. My son, who is only 4, loves High Spirits, and the record before this one, Motivator, the second song on it, This Is the Night, man, he fucking loves that song. All the time he wants to listen to This Is the Night. He knows every word to it. And he really likes Restless off of this record. So we actually listened to it in the car yesterday. He was like, I want to hear Restless. So then I picked this up from my buddy Jesse over at Sunshine Ward Records. This is Siege. And I don't know if you can see it. It's got it printed there. Complete Session. So this is everything that Siege ever did. Siege was a hardcore punk band from the early 80s. And this is a really nice... Oh, shit, there's stickers and shit in here. Fuck. So, came with 2 stickers. This is a really nice 2 CD set. So this CD is their demos. Oh, it says it under here. So the Drop Dead demo, and then